Hey, I'm Daniel.
And I'm Rachel.
And together we are Mango Street.
We create photography and filmmaking tutorials that don't waste your time.
The feeling of taking an idea that's just on paper and turning it into a beautiful photo is truly unmatched. Creative product photography is basically a form of commercial photography where you're focusing on an individual product for usually a brand so they can use it for e-commerce, marketing, social media, whatever. Product photography is everywhere. When you're scrolling Instagram, you probably get served ads of some shoes or some headphones, something like that. All of that uses product photography.
A lot of product photography is flashy, it uses macro lenses to focus on the details, but we're kind of trying to stay away from that in our lesson today. Instead, we're going to take it in a more creative direction.
So for our style of photography, we like to focus on using available light, coming up with a cool idea. The photo itself doesn't have to be perfect. It's okay if there's some imperfections. It's okay if there's some shadows. Instead, we're gonna focus on the creativity behind the photo.
We really developed this style when we started shooting and we didn't have a lot of gear. We just used available light because we didn't have strobes and we
just had one camera and one lens.
Just had one camera and one lens.
For this course, we've decided our product is gonna be a pair of Doc Marten boots. And it's the same pair of boots that I actually got married in. So it has some sentimental meaning to us, but they also have really cool branding, and it's kind of a brand that we identify with. And Rachel wears Doc Martens all the time, so we feel like it's a good vibe naturally that we can kind of figure out what their overall mood is as a brand and then create an image that might fit in on their Instagram feed or on their website or something like that. So for this shoot, we're gonna be using our trusty Canon 5D Mark IV and a 50mm lens. This is our favorite go-to camera for photography stills. But if you don't have a DSLR like that, no worries, you can just use your phone.
So now it's time for you to decide what product you want to shoot. It could be anything from an item of clothing, to food in your cupboard, to a tchotchke on your shelf.
Keep in mind that this product should help you develop a creative concept around it. There's no one right way to go about planning for your shoot. There's a few different things you can do, and we're gonna go over a couple of them. The first method is creating a mood board. We usually just open up Photoshop, get a new document, and then start pasting in images that inspire us. So this could be the color palette that we want to use. And then it could be the location or the lighting, anything that helps inspire us, and we'll take all these different elements and figure out how we can accomplish that come time for the shoot.
The other way that you can accomplish this is by working backwards. And so we're going to show you in our first image, the way that we came up with the idea is by thinking of like what the caption on Instagram or what the copy for a campaign might be. Since we're using Doc Martens, we wanted to incorporate a phrase that has to do with shoes. And so a phrase that we found that would work for this shoot is waiting for the other shoe to drop. So from there, we kind of thought of what we could do to create an image that complements that copy. So the idea I have is a Rube Goldberg contraption where a boot is precariously hanging off of a ladder and a hand is waiting to grab it. And we are thinking that on top, it might be cool to put like a bowling ball and have a finger ready to push the ball and push the boot into the hand.
We're thinking about what props we have, what colors we want, if there's any textures or anything cool that would really complement it. We're thinking about Doc Martens. The brand itself has yellow logo, has yellow stitching on the boot. It's kind of like its identifier. And so I think it helps reinforce that branding if we can use some yellow props. So thinking about like our collection of props, we do have like this yellow bowling ball, which would really work well in this photo. And then we also have this old ladder that we got from like Craigslist that just has like this raw, like old kind of rustic look, which is just kind of like a cool, edgier kind of thing to do.
So one thing I like to do, even though I'm not very good at drawing at all, is to sketch everything down into a notepad so I can kind of see how I want it to look. And that kind of serves as a mood board in and of itself. You don't have to draw from other people. You can kind of just like put all of your ideas onto the paper.
You can see how like the shapes work, even if it's just like rough shapes, you can kind of see how everything plays out and how you want to make sure that the composition is balanced. And so when you're sketching it out, you can make sure that when you get your camera set up, that everything's gonna be balanced in the frame and it's gonna lead to a better image. Okay, so we pulled up a blank Photoshop document, and so now we're just gonna Google around, find some images that inspire us, and start putting them all together in this document. So let's head to Google. There's a lot of complementary colors. That's the main premise of color blocking.
Yellow and pink right here. Let's see if we can find something better. I really like this.
Oh, look at that.
That feels like it matches like the edgier vibe of Doc Martens, so let's use that.
Okay, so we'll just copy and paste that into Photoshop just so we know what colors are inspiring us for the shoot. But I do like to break it down and do like colors, props, and the product, and just get like these different categories of inspiration. We go to Instagram a lot for inspiration. So we're gonna just use our own just for the lighting, just so we have an idea. We shot this in our home, and so we'll be in the same location that this inspiration photo was shot in. So the lighting and the location will be similar. So that's like a good thing to put on the mood board. So the mood board it's mostly just so you can get all your ideas on a page. So it doesn't have to be pretty, it doesn't have to be perfect or anything. It's just to draw inspiration from. Why don't we go to their Instagram just to see what they're doing?
Yeah. I don't think that we're gonna put a person in this one, so maybe let's just do like the product on its own.
So I want it to be like similar color. I don't want to deviate from like our actual boots that we'll be using. Oh, that's kind of cool. You know what? I like the combination of flowers with it. So we already have, like, we're gonna do a harsher, edgier flash. And if you do something kind of softer like flowers, that could be like a cool juxtaposition. Okay, so here we have a bunch of different flowers and boots. A lot of these are like cowboy boots, and I don't like this image as much because the vibe is not right, and putting it on the mood board would just kind of throw everything off, you know?
Yeah, that's definitely not the mood we're going for. I want something like harsher, like cooler.
Well, look, this,
like
I don't know if that's a Doc Martin or not, but it's that harsh, direct light. So I think that fits perfectly. So let's just toss that in there. And I think that's enough on our mood board to really have the inspiration we need and the visual references. I think it's a cool concept.
Yeah.
So it's important when you are thinking of all the props you can include in your image, not to just grab random things, even if you think they look cool.
Even though we're looking for things that are yellow, don't just grab anything that's yellow because it's gonna detract from your image if it doesn't make sense. Look for props that actually add to your photo rather than taking away from it.
It's also important not to include props that have prominent logos or branding on them, because if you do want to shoot product photography, you just want to highlight one brand.
Okay, so now it's your turn to sketch out your shot or create your mood board.